So we went over how to use a 1 point, and then we went over how to use a 2 point. But now how do you use a 1 point and 2 point together? And that's the ideal way to compose your final drawing. So let's take a look at what we have here. The blue indicates the surface line. A surface line is indicating just a simple surface in which it's going to visually weight your objects so they're not floating in space, and they have this illusion of having mass, volume, weight as gravity's pulling them down. So we always want to establish where in the environment, where in the negative space are my objects setting when I'm drawing a still life. So create that surface line. Also, look how we have the background, middle ground, and foreground indicated. And it's pretty good to like just half that so you have nice balance. There's going to be times when you want to push things and objects in the foreground. Sometimes they need to be in the background. But for the most part, when you're setting up a still life, you want to sight it on your paper so that it's in the middle, preferably off to one side. Asymmetry is visually pleasing, so putting stuff right in the middle isn't always going to be good. You might want to put it off to the side and have a little bit of negative space when you're setting up and composing your arrangement of your still life. So let's look at how to set up a 1 point and a 2 point. And I'm going to start off with a 1 point, and since I'm doing it digitally, it's going to be set up a little bit differently. I know this is a traditional hand drawing class, and ideally I would be hand drawing this for you, but I'm just kind of making this up as I am traveling, and so I don't have all my stuff out. We're going to do this digitally, and it also will help you with what we were looking at earlier with the 1 point and 2 point. Now this is going to put down a 1 point and a 2 point box that goes and reuses the VPs. Up here at the top, we have the VPs. They're on the horizon line, and notice how I have these dotted parallel lines going to each of these dots. The horizon line is the place where your eye can no longer see into the distance, and that's where we're going to put our VPs, and they need to be parallel from each other. You wouldn't want to say like put one here and one here in the red. No, that wouldn't really work. They would not be on the same plane, and we want both of these boxes to be on the same plane. So I'm going to grab my purple and my ruler, and I'm just going to pick this side one here. We're going to bring all points. They should intersect the VP. The point at which they're intersecting is where your VP should be placed. So there's one. I'm going to bring this point. And my last point. A little bit off there. Let me try again. Oh, way off. That's good. Now we're going to create the top, and I can literally put this anywhere I want. I'm just going to put it right here. I mean, ideally, I'm looking at my setup, and I'm drawing from life. This is just an example, a fast way to show you how to create these boxes, and this one is in 1 point. Now I want an overlapping 2 point to happen, so I'm going to come in and get my red. And remember when we were talking about 1 points and 2 points, The 1 point is going to merge to 1 vanishing point. This one's going to merge to 2. So I'm going to start with grabbing my ruler and creating an overlap. And I'm going to use the center line here. I never want to put it in line with a point. That's a tangent. We went over that. I want to put it in line with what's a shape's already established edge. You want it to be off from the edge. So we'll just put it there. We're going to make this nice and tall. And I do something called draw through. I want to draw through my established box really lightly because it's setting here. And once again, as I mentioned before previously in my video, you want these to be stair steps. So here's the base here. This is going to be another base. You don't want them in line because we're trying to create that illusion of depth. So even though it's going to be hidden, I'm going to bring it to I'm going to go from my center line point, and I'm going to just kind of line that up. I'm going to come to the opposite VP. But notice I reused that first VP. And I'm going to reuse it again right here. This keeps it all on the same plane. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to develop my side. Let's just say it's here. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and use the ruler and make the other one. Since there's no tangents, we'll put it right there. Now, if you can, bring it to the VP. To create the top. Reusing these VPs over and over again. The point at which everything merges and you create your top. And then I would go in and of course I would erase this all out. After I establish my lines, I can come in and erase them, drawing lightly, so that now I have my shapes. And it is good to make sure that you start off with a VP. You know where it's at, and you're always taking it with a ruler. You can always go in and round things off later. But that's how you use an overlap and a 1 point and 2 point, reusing the same VPs. It's hard. I get it. It takes a little practice, but it will just click. If you just keep pushing yourself to use the ruler, use the VPs, it's going to click, and then you're going to be able to apply it to everything. Start small. Start with basic shapes. Once you get them down, then try something more complex. We don't really want to do an interior right now at this point. This is a still life course. Anything that you can fit in your hand to arrange and compose is what you want to do. Now, I also want to bring out one last thing. I'm going to use green for this. I'm going to get my ruler back. You can put your cross contour lines in perspective too. You just have to take it. I'm only going to do really big ones just so you get the point. But they should merge back as well. If you are doing cross contour lines, they should merge into space as well. Try to find the center here. Do this really fast, but you understand where I'm going towards. So this should merge as well. Everything should merge. I hope this helps you, and happy drawing.